Alright everyone, hello and welcome to another episode of OpenRCT2 streaming. So, a few changes today. I am seeing how the stream will work out if I stream in a higher quality, so now it should be 1080 pixels as opposed to, I think I was on 720 or something before, so it should look a little bit more clear. As long as my internet holds up, which it looks like it is right now. Once I start playing though, that may be a different story. So I may have to bump the settings down if any lag persists, but so far it looks like everything's good. You have a webcam now, so a little more professional, a little bit of that. I'm actually going to change. This camera does perform a little bit better in lower light. So there we go. That's better. There will be glare from my glasses, but I kind of do. Yeah, I will need them to see. But yeah, it's down just a hair. Mess it up. Oh. Should have did this all before I started streaming. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Doesn't look crooked or anything. Alright. So, today, let's see here, make sure I'm not dropping anything. Yep, that's good. Today, the next scenario down the line is Karts and Coasters. So I have completed everything up until Millennium Mines, which was the last stream, and today I'm going to jump right into this. So I will pause it like I do before I do anything here, and make sure that this is still good. Yep. Alright. So Karts and Coasters is a bit of a funky scenario. I have done it several times before, but it's very clustered and you need 1,000 guests by the end of year 3. So there's already over 300 guests in the park, so essentially you are generating another 600, 700 in 3 years, which is not a far cry from the level that the other scenarios have been at so far. Park rating of at least 600. It is dipped. It is above 600, but not very far over that. And just to see what the park already has here in terms of attractions, there are 4 attractions, 2 of which are go-kart rides and 2 of which are major wooden coasters. So just gonna look at these real quick. I'm gonna keep checking my stream to make sure that, yeah, okay, we're good. So the 4 rides, 2 go-kart tracks, 2 coasters. The Turnpike over here and King Karts. This one doesn't have test results yet, but this one is at $7. It is a 2-lap race. I will have to monitor the queue time for it because these rides, especially the go-kart rides, not so much with the coasters, but the go-kart rides will get longer queue times because they are pretty long tracks, and especially at 2 laps, I will have to monitor it. But this will be able to be increased to $7 to start. The other go-kart track, I'll have to wait on a second. And the 2 coasters, Timber Terror and Lumberjack, both have very high intensity ratings, but they also are both able to generate a lot of money. So that's a good thing for this park, that you have 4 attractions essentially in place that all get above, even for the other go-kart track, it should get above a 6 excitement rating, if I recall correctly. So I could edit the coasters theoretically because in RCT1 you didn't have the ability to do banked drops. And pretty much all the drops, the turning drops on these coasters, are flat curves as opposed to a banked turn. I don't know if I want to close them at this point though, because it will cost money to reprofile them. And as long as people are going on them, both of which have a popularity ranking of 2/3 of the people are going on them. So I think I'm going to keep them as is. This one will get $8. and this one will get $7.50 per ride. No on-ride photo, but the excitement ratings alone will make up for that lost $3 of value. No food stalls, no restrooms or anything, so that will be a priority very early in the scenario. And there are no benches, bins in terms of staff. There is only one handyman, so I'm going to hire a few more staff members here just to get things going. And the rides I have to begin with, there is a chairlift. There are a few coaster varieties, most of which, though, are Wild Mouse style or junior coasters. So certainly one design right off the bat would be a good thing to add here to add to the variety of the park other than just the thrill rides. There is a scrambler available. There is a log flume available. And it looks like I am missing the information kiosk. So I will put all the funding into shops and stalls. Once I get the information kiosk, then I will probably be able to switch over to thrill rides. I will want to research initially. There's also the carousel and the spiral slide, which are two flat ride designs that I like using. So not too bad in terms of money. The loan will only let you borrow $10,000 more than what you have, which is pretty on par with the other scenarios and the average value that they give you. And it is a very large park. This is certainly larger than Aqua Park. This is probably on the size of Millennium Mines. However, the problem is there is a lot of terrain here. Not as much flat space at all. All of these rides are sort of built around the terrain. Not a lot of room for expansion either because these attractions are so expansive. I mean, this wooden coaster right here pretty much takes up a third of the map, and same can be said about this one right here. So, and there are a lot of trees to contest with as well. So, any sort of expansion that will be made on this park, there will be a lot of landscaping fees just to remove the trees that are in the way. So, I will get started here. I will do see-through scenery here just so I can see where everything's at. The path system is also very convoluted. It doesn't really have much rhyme or reason. It just kind of works around the attractions that are already present. It is a fairly expansive park in terms of the paths that are already laid out, so I don't think I'm going to focus too much time or effort into either widening the paths or building upon what is already there. But there certainly will need to be, and I will disable the brakes failure too, just so I don't have any problems with these coasters. I don't really want to close them and edit them because that will be lost revenue that could be made right away. And the four attractions in the park are already definitely money makers as is, with the amount of people that are in the park as well. So over here, a couple sets of benches. There will need to be a few here as well because of this coaster. Back here, where's the station for this coaster? That's what I am wondering right now. Oh, it's right over here. I did just put benches in there. Wait a minute. Are these somehow connected? Oh, the stations are right on top of one another. That makes a lot of sense. So just spread some benches around the park. Hopefully will reduce the nausea and litter that guests will produce. Anywhere I see any of these flat spaces, I'm just gonna throw in a few benches. All right. That should be good to start. And some bins as well. Nice thing about the bins is they can go on the sloped paths, so saving some room for the benches around the park is certainly something that is beneficial. Some there, I guess, there. Oh, I didn't even put any benches on this pathway. It would probably be a good idea, even though it's not in the immediate sort of vicinity of any rides. Guests will get tired because there is a lot of up and down in this park when it comes to the terrain. And guests are hungry, so I should probably build a couple of food stands to begin with here. So fries can go there. And I think I can get No, fries are only $1.50. People will complain if it's $2 or above. And then a drink stall as well. I'll put it somewhere away from the fries. So right there. And drinks can charge $2. I'll see how these stands do, and then certainly I can always add more. There won't be a lot of variety in the shops and stalls. As soon as the information kiosk is designed, I will put my focus into thrill rides. And as for the scrambler, I do want to build that right away too. There is a bit of flat space here. I guess that the entrance and exit path will sort of loop around the drink stall right here. And the name of it, I could call it something like Circular Saw, I guess. Kind of keeping in with the theme of the trees. I'll paint it gray and black maybe. And I will maximize the rotations for it, just so that it will be able to charge the most money per cycle. 2.75, so surely the trees around it helped it. I will be able to get 250 out of it though. Open it up, and I probably will also put the carousel in since I have it, and it will add to some of the flat rides in the park here. I do want to use a flat piece of land though, if I can, for any of these flat rides over here. Maybe something like right here would be a good fit. Bridge the queue line over with the entrance. I'll just keep it called merry-go-round, and I'll bump it up to 15 rotations, see how that does. 185, so 150 is not bad for a carousel. And this is actually a nice piece of flat land right here for a coaster. The queue line and exit path could bridge over this way, but the station I want to build on flat land at least. Just because it'll help with the paths. People are already going up and down a lot in this park, so. And maybe Spiral Slide can fit in somewhere here. I guess right here. It doesn't need a queue line. I'll continue with the sort of greens in this park. Oh, maybe not. So this ride will be 1 per admission. 5 people can be on it at once. I'll call it the Lookout Tower. And this should get about $1.50 as well, if I'm not mistaken. I'll just have to see once people go on it. I do like the log cabin style entrance. I think I might go with that sort of park-wide. I had a lot of trouble finding the station for these two coasters. I did not realize that they were on top of one another, so this should help give a little bit more distinguished feature, if you will. And this one as well. And I think everything has been covered now. Certainly, again, I could modify these coasters, especially this one right here with banked drops, but the revenue that they're making, in fact, as long as people are going on them, I don't care so much about the intensity ratings, but the big thing is getting as many people to go on them as possible. Adding some gentle rides to the park now certainly will also help that, give a little bit more variety for the guests with lower intensity sort of tolerances. And information kiosk will be available in right now. So I can go now. I want to do probably thrill rides and coasters for the time being. Probably another thrill ride would be nice to start. Information kiosk. A good piece of land to put this. I guess right there is fine. $1 per map and $5 for umbrellas. I don't know what the scenario looks like in terms of rain. I don't think it is a rainier one, considering I haven't seen any rain yet in the short time that I have been playing. And I probably will do an entrance campaign for the park here. While I have some money in the bank, this scenario will make its way back fairly quickly. And I think I do want to put in one of these wooden wild mouse designs, if it will fit in nicely here. Let's see. I just want to see where the entrance ends up. All I have to do is see through scenery. Is this where it ends up? Yeah, so that'll be fine. I don't really like using the pre-built designs, but for something like that, in the name of time and money, I don't really mind using the pre-built design for that. Is that? Yeah, that's in the right place. So the entrance can be extended a little bit more, and then the exit will just loop around there. There we go. And then some shops and stalls, maybe in the future when I develop more, or just another one in general, to add to what the park has. It's a very large park, but there was essentially nothing besides the rides operating it for the time being. So I'll see how this does. It'll be lower capacity, but it is a very short layout, and there certainly is room to expand. I mean, back here, it will have to get somewhat creative with the station. Maybe the station actually goes over here. This way, this path is adjacent sort of to this area. But with the 4 coasters already in operation, this park needs 1,000 guests. I will need to keep up on the building with this one, it seems. So I'm expecting about $6, hopefully, out of this ride. I'm assuming that because money is a little bit more readily available in this scenario, that it's harder to attract guests. But we will see in terms of how this ride does stat-wise and attendance-wise once it opens. Some benches in there, a couple sets of bins. 610, so $6 for a ticket. Another very high intensity attraction, but that doesn't seem to be steering anyone away so far in this scenario. And see what the guest thoughts are. I'm hungry. Oh, I never even installed a restroom. Okay. So that's a couple of these are going to need to go in right away. Guests can't find anywhere to buy food. So I'll do a couple of restrooms to start, pretty much at opposite ends of the park. Just so that they're there, and I will have to do another, like, food and drink stall. And King Karts also seems to be having a bit of a problem with the queue time. So maybe I do what I was going to plan to do here. The fries shop can go in there. As long as they're profiting, I don't care necessarily that they're the same. I just want them to be able to profit. That drink stall, where to go? It's back there, so this one can go right. Oh, wait. That isn't facing anything, is it? Alright, so that should get things rolling. Queue times for the rides, 15 minutes for King Karts. Where are you? Yeah, this queue line certainly needs to be shortened. That is for sure. So I'm gonna kind of do this the messy way. And instead of reconfiguring the entire path, I'm just gonna build it up to there. This way it shortens the queue line. That should help a little bit, at least with the queue time for this ride. Everything else as of right now is fine. The other go-kart rides certainly is inching its way up to the higher side. Actually, it just went down, so it should be okay. But this go-kart ride, hopefully this will help with that. And the pirate ship will be available, which will be nice. I'm going to start thinking about the next coaster, where I want it to be. I probably will end up going with the junior coaster design. It is a bit more flexible, and it has a curved lift hill element, which is nice, and it's differentiated. Whereas the Wild Mouse designs would be more like the wooden Wild Mouse, 2 wooden coasters in operation, so the junior coaster. And I will add coasters back to that, just so I can start developing more of those as well. It is a very tough map in terms of space available and the quality of the space that is available. Alright, so the pirate ship is available to build. I will also install this right away. I mean, theoretically, I could put it there. I don't want it to look too bad. I want it to have enough room for queue space as well. Are there any other decent places of land to build this in the park currently? I could build it over the water, sort of right here. I'm just going to need markers so that I see where I'm building. So that's at 0 feet. This is at 5. So queue line, entrance. So that'll work. This, am I able to build? God, there really isn't a good angle at all to kind of see where I'm going with this. I think that's flush with the surface there. And I will build it out a couple more blocks. Alright, so this can open up. And I should probably also, I'm running low on money, but I do want to advertise the coaster that I just put in. So mini miner for, say, 6 weeks. Leaves me with a little bit of money in the bank. 20 swings for the pirate ship. Name, I'll call it Battle Galleon. I guess that works for this ride. Log cabin entrance, because that's what I've been going with in the park. And this will get 250. So off to a good start here in terms of what the rides are bringing in. As I've said before, the amount of trees in the scenario, even though you're going to end up removing a lot of them as you continue to build, the trees do help the excitement value of the rides, and especially the rides that are kind of cramped in with other rides and interact with them going over and under them. That severely helps the excitement rating for those. King Karts, why isn't anybody going on this? Where is it? Okay, that's wrong. The popularity for this definitely isn't 0 because people are still entering the queue line. It's only a 1-lap race. I'm gonna actually change this because the winner of the race on this gets an extra lap around. So continuous circuit, if it's a 1-lap race anyways, there's no reason. That should definitely help things a little bit. I may have to shorten it even more though if it continues to be a problem, because the other rides, yeah, that's very inaccurate. I'm gonna close it and open it. That's why this guy right here is causing a problem. Okay, he's out of the way now. Hopefully that will reset it. There's nobody even on this ride. What's going on? I think it was a problem with the guy standing at the entrance. It was sort of a glitch because these cars should have people in them. The go-karts never go around empty. And roller coaster will be the next ride developed. So that's good. A lot of people need to go to the bathroom. They are all open, correct? Yeah, I have 2 of them at this point. I will probably need to expand more, but I want money to come back a little bit. 2 bathrooms, 4 food stalls to start, 2 of which are drink stalls, of course. Should be enough just for the beginning of this scenario. And already halfway to the goal, which is good. Okay. So, as for what's next, mini suspended coaster. Those can end up being weird though because... Okay, so that corrected itself, looks like, for the time being. And what's the excitement rating for it? 638. 638? I could charge another $1 out of it. I do wish that the coasters were filling trains a little bit more. They're all doing okay though. I mean, 3/4 of the people at least are deciding to go on them, so intensity isn't affecting them too much per se. Some space back here, some space back here, so they will be more compact coasters. I'm sure when the looping coaster design comes in, I will go for a shuttle loop of some sorts, but I'm probably not going to be too happy with how this park comes out because it is just such a messy glob of trees and terrain and large rides that are already in operation that you can't really do anything about. That certainly is a very intense hill right there. But nothing I can really do about it unless I want to close it and lose a bunch of revenue. I may go with the junior coaster next, just because it'll be easier sort of to build with the curved lift hill and with other factors at play. And are there any other spaces? I should get a different angle of this and see if there's anywhere else that it may be advantageous to build this sort of right now. This area would be too cramped. I would think there are only a couple blocks of space towards the park boundary. I could go right here, but there's going to be a lot of clearance checks with the coaster already in place. I do want to save some of this other land sort of around the perimeter of the park for not necessarily a larger coaster, but a shuttle loop would work good here because it is very compact. I think this coaster may be tall enough that I can interact with it a little bit, so I may continue building in this area of the park. So I'll build that flush with, and I just want to make sure that I have enough room right there. Okay. So I think I have an idea of what I want to do here. No, that won't work. That won't either. Yeah, this is going to be very tough to sort of maneuver around that right there, which is unfortunate because this will work. hoping that this turn isn't too intense. I will have to see once the stats come in for it. So maybe it can go up, around. I could have it come back out this way. And I was up 70 feet, so I should be good here in terms of... I want it to go over the path. It is going to have to come back down and around here. So, I mean, maybe even it can go over this way. 50 feet from 70, maybe a bit of a stretch. Oh, and that's actually right over the path. So I have it come around here. It is tall enough to clear all that. I'm not blowing too much money either right now, which is nice. So maybe it comes back over here, drops down. I need to remain... This could work. And it won't. I just gotta bump it out like one more. Into the brakes. Oh no, not that. Block brake. I can't believe that that just worked. But the real test now is if it will make it all the way around the track. It will be able to support 7-car trains. I'll worry about the colors after. I just want to make sure that this works for right now. Okay. And it will also use the... Maybe I'll do jungle for this one. 50 feet from 70 feet isn't too tall. I just don't want it to lose too much speed going around this area. That will be the only place that it could potentially cause a problem. A little bit slow, but it should make it around now. I'm hoping for at least $455 out of this. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up to $556 just because of the interaction with the coaster and the paths around it. And I didn't even have to take any more money out of the bank for this. 488, so 450 could be better, but certainly isn't. Most junior coasters do get around $455 for a basic design, so... Alright, what am I doing here now? That will meet with the path, so I'm good there. This I'm hoping to loop around just a couple of times. No, I don't want it there. I want it there, and then this one will go. No, stop that. I'm clearly not clicking in the right place. Unless I do it from this way, because I already know it's going to meet up there. Okay. Name, I'll call it Jungle Explorer. Nothing creative, but serves its purpose. The colors are okay for this one. I'll leave them as is. 486. Alright, that can open. And I should be able to, hopefully, yeah, I can take out another advertising campaign. Alright, cool. So that's all working now. While I was building, I came up with the Mine Train Coaster and the Mini Suspended. We're both are both now available. So maybe I do thrill rides for the time being. The Mine Train Coaster may be something I use in this scenario. And of course it starts to rain right as I build that coaster and open it. Because, you know, I want it to be open and now people aren't going to go on it now that it's raining. Okay. I could also go with Gentle Ride Research. I do want like a top spinner launch free fall though. Or I'll probably end up getting swinging inverter ship just because that's the way these scenarios kind of start researching rides. Now Turnpike is getting a long line. Why is that? Well, because it is a tremendously long line. And I'm assuming that this one may be considered an indoor attraction just because it's a lot of the way underground and such things. Or is it? I mean, no, people aren't going on it. It's a long race. King Karts is even getting back up there now, but anything under 10 minutes is acceptable. Park rating has increased ever since I took over the park, so actually the looping coaster would be beneficial to get. I do want to put a shuttle loop into this park, but I'll wait until money sort of recuperates, maybe put up another flat ride, some more stalls if I need to. What are people doing? Okay. Crowded, some people are saying. Bathroom comments have went down though, so the hungry and thirsty ones, that's pretty average for any big park. Alright, so I will wait to see what the next ride is. Is a thrill ride. End of July, or beginning of July, year one, 760 guests, so 3/4 of the way to the goal. Next coaster, it'll probably take at least 2 more coasters, if not 3, but probably 2 and some supplemental thrill rides, and this park will be in pretty good shape. Yeah, there's really nothing else to build. I mean, I could do a log flume somehow. It would have to be a shorter one. I could do it in this area. So if I use this for like a mine train, this for a looping coaster, this area will probably go untouched unless I become creative with it. What do I want to do? How are the mechanics doing? Okay, I'm gonna need another one. A couple more handymen, certainly. Do I really want to build this? I'm going for it. I just want to make sure that this last turn, yeah, that'll have clearance. This will be a very sort of short log flume. It will weave around a lot of these attractions though, that will be for sure. Okay, too high for supports, but we'll have to go this way out. Start going back down. Nope. Then maybe it turns out not realistic. It would have a longer splash section there, but I mean, I'm basically going for just fitting it around everything at this point. I'm hoping. Gee, oh, well, that's because I'm right on top of the coaster, so maybe I do an S-bend. I gotta get back up to 40 to make it there. Maybe I don't go for a splash section. Maybe I only do a little dip into one of these deals. Launched free falls available. Okay. Actually, I can go out one more with this. The path is in the way. The path. Oh, I'm right over that. How do I want to finish this? I guess I'll start building out from this way and hope for the best here. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do a final dip just because of room, because I'm going to have to fit an S-bend in here again. Maybe I'll do an on-ride photo instead for a little bit more revenue. And these both are going to have to go in there. I do hope that I have room for the exit here. I will. Entrance. Okay. Again, testing out. That's 12 boats. I'll probably want to go with, 12 to start. Okay. It's probably going to be a lower excitement rating than typical, but that's okay. The on-ride photo will certainly help make up for the price. I'll call it Old Mill. And wait for that to test out. 800 guests now in the park. Launched free fall is available. Okay. So once that makes it around, I'll open it up. Maybe I put in a couple benches around here. And a couple bins as well. I'm expecting about $3-4 for admission from this ride, but nothing really more. So, come on, give me the ratings. It has one big drop in it, so it shouldn't be too bad. It has 2 drops. Oh, okay, so $4. That is decent. Alright, get it open. I'll do an advertising. Once that's up, I'll do an advertising campaign for this ride as well. I mean, the park is bringing in a lot of people for... I guess there are some major rides in it, 4 coasters now. and some supplemental thrill rides, but I'm sure there's some twist. I'm almost reaching the goal by the end of year one, so I certainly will have to pace my building so that I don't start losing people into year three, much like with Millennium Mines. And the park is making a lot of money back quickly as well, so that's good. This is a very long week. I'm just waiting for that advertising campaign to run out so I can do this one for the Log Flume. Okay, there we go. 6 weeks. How are the mechanics doing? They're doing good. Handymen are doing okay. I'll add a couple security guards as well, just because it's harder for me to see like guests in this park and the pathways and if things are getting broken. Suspended swinging coaster, that's not something I want, but I will do the launched free fall. Actually, I'll hold off. The only reason for that is because I want the sort of boost of attendance to die off a little bit from the 2 new rides that I put in, really 3 big new rides, and just see how the park is doing before I commit to building another attendance attracting ride per se. Queue times. Yeah, I mean, these are both at the threshold of how long they can be before people complain. A lot of people need to use the restroom. Where are my restrooms in this park? I have one back here. One, if I'm not mistaken, was like up here somewhere. Where's the other one? I know I built 2. Oh, it's right there. So maybe one back here as well. Right there. That should help out. And it looks like I'm going to hover right around 850, 900 guests with what I currently have. Because just as many people are leaving that are coming in. There is certainly some spaces within here to build the launched free fall. It'll require a 3x3 space, so I'm not too concerned. A mine train would probably work good out here. Over here, I'll save shuttle loop over here. A little bit of space here, but I'm not sure if it ends up getting used or not. Either a mine train, or if I get another good coaster variety, it will go back here. Certainly the shuttle loop will have to go in this space just to be smart on land, not use up too much of it. Or it could even theoretically go in here, because it will take up a short amount of space. Alright, I'll wait to see what the next ride researched is. Other than that, these are doing okay. How about profits? Everything's profiting. I could charge 10 cents for the restrooms, but I don't want to do that if I don't have to. Park has been profiting pretty good, except for the months where there was major construction. I mean, pretty much every month there's been major construction, but even then, a couple of these months I have profited despite there being major minus costs and marketing. Staff wages aren't too much, research is what it is, and the loan payment isn't crippling me by any means. And landscaping hasn't been so bad. There's been a lot of tree removal, but fairly consistent, at least in these months, of what it was costing. So not bad. Will be a roller coaster again. I'm hoping for the looping coaster. This way I would spring for the shuttle loop design right away. It certainly does help having 4 rides in the park, sort of like Aqua Park in a way. 4 rides in the park that are all profiting and big money getters right away. I mean, I'm sure that even this is profiting pretty good now. Yeah, just because of the on-ride photo with the $4 entrance fee. It's not a very pretty log flume, but it's a filler attraction that made use of this otherwise unusable land on the steep slope and interacted with the coaster over here and the paths going over. Actually, no path interaction, just the couple of coasters it crosses between. And it probably did help the excitement rating for those coasters as well, maybe. Actually, yeah, this one can charge $8 now, and this one $8.50, as long as people pay to go on them at that rate. Why not raise the cost? Nobody complaining so far. I'm sure as the scenario goes on, guests spending money in the park will certainly contribute to that, in the sense that they won't be able to afford the big coasters anymore. But they're already high-priced coasters as is. Why not make a little bit more money off of them? Yeah, so not looking too bad. Nearing the end of year one. In between, only going to be about 100 guests away from the goal, but I really consider it 200 or so because you have to factor in the depreciation of the rides and as the park goes on without being advertised or new things being put in per se. And I mean, I guess if I really wanted to, I could do a transport ride, but I feel like it would just be too expensive for what it's worth and it would look messy in here. A couple of these rides already look messy with how cluttered and pushed in they are, cramped in. Steeplechase, not what I wanted again, and not something that I would consider spending space on with 2 sort of junior mini coaster designs already in the property. In fact, I'm going to look up really quick if you get the looping coaster design in Karts and Coasters, because generally it is one of the first designs that becomes available from research. Yeah, I'm not sure, but even something like the Corkscrew Coaster, if it's available, could make for a makeshift shuttle loop design for this scenario. Certainly wouldn't look anything, too bad. I hope that my video and my microphone should look, or, well, the video looks decent from my Twitch studio, which is OBS, but I prefer the way that the Twitch studio looks. Um, in all honesty, to OBS, I have used both before, but this microphone, it's not like a Blue Yeti or anything crazy. It's not Tecton. That's a wrench brand. Tofon or something like that. I'm trying to see if there's a name on it. I have the box over here. Give me a second. toner, which it was like a $60 microphone and a $40 webcam. I certainly wasn't looking to spend like $100 on each, but I hope everything's coming through okay. The webcam is in Mexico, so it's showing up on my screen pretty good, but I'll have to see afterwards how it looks and all that. The microphone, the values are all coming through okay. I'm sure it is an upgrade from my last one, and I also have a pop filter in front of it, so that should help with the quality of the sound a little bit. Alright, so Steeplechase is available. I may build the launched freefall for the time being while I'm waiting. I don't want to go too long in the scenario without investment. And the launch freefall will go right here. I may actually do a dropped version on this one, while I won't need the entrance and exit. Otherwise, the game gets really mad at you and won't let you test it, and there we go. If not, I'll just do the normal upward launch as opposed to the downward one. Actually, though, the cycle time on this will be... Yeah, I'm just going with the space shot mode, because the cycle time for the downward launch will be... Oh, I don't want to go that fast. Let's see how 45 does. It could go faster. 47. I'm gonna go 49. I don't want to push it. Okay, 49 is a little too much, because with people it may end up going over the top. And certainly faster launches lead to higher intensity ratings for sure. It will reach a top speed of just under 50 miles an hour though. So that is decent. What's going on here with the path? 3.82. Yeah, that's pretty average for a shuttle loop, or not a shuttle loop, a space shot in this game. Guests really don't seem to mind the high intensities in this map though, so it'll work. Okay. Log cabin entrance. How's this? 378. So 350 per ticket. I'll call it something like Bigfoot. I was thinking Sasquatch, but that's because Great Escape's launch tower complex is called Sasquatch, so I'll call it Bigfoot and open it up. I do want to put a little bit of fencing in right here. This is another one of those scenarios where it just looks so cluttered that I'm really not concerned so much about making it look as nice. Why am I even bothering with this fencing? I don't know. I mean, scenery does add to your park rating a little bit. The park rating is doing very well right now, though, considering where this map started off. So, all right. Wow, the park really is making money now. So I can select this. I'll do an advertising campaign for it. Maybe one for the park as well, just because I have the money to spare at this point. I mean, having the goal at the end of year one seems like a really good place to be at, but it also isn't in a way, because I don't want to keep losing people for the next 2 years of gameplay. I certainly will have to keep building. I'm assuming sometime in year 2, if the inverted coaster or not inverted, but shuttle loop or looping roller coaster comes available, that'll go back here, or some similar small coaster. You know, I mentioned inverted. If the looping roller coaster isn't available in this scenario, I could certainly build one of those inverted designs that just sort of loop around and launch. So it doesn't have to be a looping coaster right there, but just something small, a moneymaker that will boost attendance and fit in really. Everything else at this point, though, is kind of doing good, and I don't believe you can buy land on this scenario. Not that I would need to, but Yeah, no, you're not able to. So that could be assumed as one of the challenges. Someone may be thinking, oh, there's a little bit of flat land out here if I can buy it, but you can't. This map certainly makes you get a little bit creative with how you're building your rides. And I mean, this end of the park too, there's a lot of rides going in here. It is very well developed, whereas back here, I did install a couple of rides. You know, that's for sure, but there isn't as much going on in this back half of the park than there is at the front half. If you'll consider it that, I'm only calling it that because the entrance is a little bit closer to this side, and there is certainly more paths developed. Back here is really just entrance and exit for a couple of these rides, like King Karts. This all wasn't here right here when I first built the scenario. This was all added as an addendum. The pathway cut right here and started going back. So vertical drop coaster. So that one's actually very interesting because I haven't done one yet. It's because I don't think it has been available in any of the previous scenarios, or at least I haven't researched it. And I was going to do a mine train back here, but the vertical drop coaster may be a little bit more space friendly, be able to attract a few more people. And for some reason, this map kept coming in my mind. It was either this one or Crumbly Woods. Last time I played it, I did put a dive coaster at the back of the park. It could have also been Crumbly Woods, but this piece of land, for some reason, has some familiarity to me. It looks like where I have built a dive coaster before. So I may go with that, in all honesty. Just because it could work really well. It will be expensive, but money isn't really an issue right now for this map. So I could start it up here. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, and I can even do, look at that. Wait, yeah, no, I did not think I could do um a vertical lift hill, because that would have even been more cost conscience for me. Oh, but darn. The land ends right there. Um, let me see how this does here. So holding brake for drop. Can I do like a large? Yeah, I can do a large half loop. And that'll be a height of, oh god, so this thing, actually no, that ain't too bad. Oh, but you can't do a corkscrew on this. That is the caveat. I'm not too concerned though. So it does that. Maybe I should build that out like one more. 125 feet. Where is this going to come? Right through the middle there, so that works out actually perfect. And you know, maybe instead of that type of drop, I do something like this. Am I able to connect it in the same place, or no? Let me see here. No, that will not connect in the same place, but I have an idea here. Money is still rolling in very good for this property, so maybe an on-ride photo here. Okay, I certainly like how this is coming out now. And I mean, even with this now, I can run 3 trains potentially and have a second hold. Oh wait, but did I do a block break is the question. A holding break down into the vertical. I fit it all in. Where am I at? I'm at 115, so I can do a speed hill into another set of brakes. Block brakes. I do no boosters on this one, but that should be fine. How do I want to handle this? I could do that, just so that it's on sort of the slope on the way back down. And this one should be block brakes, technically. I don't know if I deleted it accidentally or not. Oh, this is going to be amazing. I'm not a very long coaster, but it's certainly better than what I was planning on putting here. That is for sure. Look at that. All right, so it should be able to handle... No, I only want to do 3 trains. 6-seater twister trains. All right, gonna... Oh, of course. I want to see how this does now. Over 1,000 guests, beginning of year 2, next major coaster will open. I just want to make sure that this does not end up with too high of intensity stats or not enough of an excitement rating, just because it very well could. It's a shorter coaster. Okay, makes it around there just fine. Those turns are certainly taken at high speeds. All right. Test results. Let me see where this stands. Laterals are not in the extreme. I just want to see where this stands, though, in terms of the overall excitement. Not yet available. It's keeping me on edge here. A cliffhanger. That actually may be a good name for the ride. 691, $650 coaster with an on-ride photo. Intensity's not in the very high. That is actually a very good design. And the queue line will actually fit in nicely. It won't be long, but it will fit. There goes that. Log cabin entrance. I will call it Cliffhanger just because the colors are good for this ride. I haven't really done any greens yet, and I do like the train colors as well. It's a few away from being a $7 generating coaster. Can I include any scenery here at all that will push it over that edge? So I mean, a ride sign. I could try to add in some more of these trees, especially in this area. Where am I at? 698. Anything else? I'm so close to that $7 mark that I like maybe hedge fencing for the exit and this small area back here, maybe? I just really want to push it over that $7 mark. I don't know. NQ TVs? Yeah, I don't think I'm getting over that. I mean, theoretically, I could charge $7 to start, but over time I would probably have to lower it. And I could do like this here. Just trying to boost it a little bit more. Because I was at 6.8 something, and then it determined that it's 6.98, so I boosted it a little bit. I'll step away for a second from that, but I can advertise this one now. I'll do 8 weeks for it. It is a larger coaster. April year 2, so beginning of year 2, over 1,000 guests already. There will need to be some more benches in this area. That is something I can do right now. Okay. Park rating is very high. It would be a kind of a cool dive coaster design in real life. Obviously, it would need to be a little bit longer and things, but considering where it is in the park and a couple of the elements here that you don't really see on the traditional dive coasters. Oops, sorry, just bumped my microphone. And the stream seems to be going fine. It says that I haven't had any slow frames or frame drops yet. My upload speed is certainly where it needs to be for like an HD sort of stream, so that's good. And while I know the Corkscrew Coaster was developed. How about thrill rides? Nothing there. Bobsled coaster, so maybe I take it off of coasters now and I put it on general rides, thrill rides for the time being, and maybe shops and stalls. And as for the Corkscrew Coaster, April year 2, I could start building it here, and the design I may end up going with is I could go with a boomerang if it wouldn't fit there, but there is the type of shuttle loop design, like the old school arrow launched loop. I don't know if that's exactly what I want to go with, though. If it's even available in this, it should be. What are you? Oh my god, and it fits too. And it fits. If I go like this... Oh. Eh? U4463. What are the stats on this one? 710, 640. And if I mirror it, maybe. This could work. I mean, canned design. Oh, that will be an issue. That would be right over the path. Let me see if I can become creative with this, because this is actually a design that I would consider using. Will this fit under the station? I love how the name of it, U4463, is in the way. It would be nice if it would just slide under there and connect with the path. But I don't know if that's going to work. So what I may have to do here is I may have to go like down one more. of course, I'm going to have to edit all the land within here. Yeah, that would go under. And then I'm right under the exit. Okay, this is definitely wacky. But here, like, it wouldn't be as bad. Weird, that's for sure. And maybe I will give it a little bit of, you know, like, oh, but that's at the edge of the park, so I don't know exactly if it's gonna... It is what it is. I was looking for a shuttle loop type design. I don't know if I'm gonna get the looping coaster here. The Corkscrew Coaster is virtually the same. And these colors gotta get changed. I mean, I could go with a yellow, or, you know, like a, sort of like that. The supports could be black. The vehicles, though, are gonna have to also be like maybe a gold and black colors. And I've already called something either Gold Rush or Gold Rusher. So maybe Gold Fever or something like Rough Rider. I don't know. Rough Rider. And the speed should already be appropriate. So it doesn't go around the loops too fast. It does sort of a cutback there. On-ride photo goes up, then back around. The on-ride photo isn't really necessary because I already have 2 attractions now that have it, but considering it came with the design, I'm not too, like, concerned about having a 3rd coaster that... And, you know, something I may do here, if it will let me, is just extend it out, you know, even more. So this will be launched with the passing station, just to boost the excitement a little bit more and get a little bit more out of it. And make it look more like a traditional sort of shuttle loop design. And I guess the vehicles, I can also change colors of them now because I'm not committed to the Gold Rusher name or Gold Fever, whatever I was going to name it. So it'll charge about $6 a ticket. Gonna have to add some benches and stuff. 658, so 650. Not bad at all for a small shuttle design that fit perfectly into that space. I will do benches right at the exit because people need them. Couple of bins as well. And I don't know how much longer. 4 weeks remaining on that, so maybe instead of putting the advertising into the coaster itself, I'll do another park campaign. There's over 1,000 guests now, approaching halfway through year 2. I wonder if the game looks so glitchy on the stream, or if it's just because I'm kind of like second screening it in a way. Because my camera looks fine-ish. Yeah, maybe it just looks like that, I don't know. Or what I could do actually is pull it up on my phone and see. I'm going to get excited now. I'm going to say, oh, I have 1 viewer. And it's me on my phone, making sure that, you know. Oh, that's weird. Is that just the color, or... So it looks a little bit glitchy on my phone. Because, like, obviously here I'm pulling on my computer over 130 frames per second. And I should be streaming in 60. It says I'm coming through with 60, but it looks a little bit glitchy to me. It'll be fine. All right. So where am I at? Oh, wrong thing there. I haven't dropped any frames or anything, so I should be okay. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. Haunted House will be next. Don't want to do a bobsled coaster, don't want to do suspended swinging because of the space. The mini ones, I've already kind of covered my bases with those. I have 2 wooden coasters operating, so that would only leave the mine train. And the space I was going to use for that, I pretty much used like half of it for the vertical drop coaster, but I also was able to use some of the space right here that I didn't think I would make as much use of. I mean, so theoretically another coaster could fit in there, a smaller one. I could get creative with some of this land, but I think with what I have in the park now, a few more filler rides in that, and maybe one more smaller scale major attraction, that will be it for this. I'm going to fast forward a bit here. I'll pay off some of this loan while I'm at it too. I'm going to fast forward a bit. $1,100 guests in the park. Okay, yeah, no, I gotta stop now because... So I will do a campaign for Rough Rider. Where is it? 6 weeks. One for the park for 8 weeks. Let's see how I'm doing here with rides, what rides were made available. So no coasters, but I don't think I was researching those. No thrill rides. A couple of the general rides became available. I may do a Ferris Wheel. And as far as where I want to build it, I mean, it could fit in somewhere. Actually, right here's a space. So I don't... Looks like right there I'm... Oh, shoot. I just botched that. Because it's going to go... Right there it's flush, but right there it goes down one. And the queue line for this is not going to be able to be too long, because people end up waiting forever for it. Maybe I just do one of these deals. I'll leave it the colors that it is. I'm not going to give it any creative name. Ferris Wheel's fine. Should get about $1 at least, if not $1.50, because of the setting it's in around a lot of trees. I need 1,000 guests in the park by the end of year 3. I'm hovering right over that. I want to increase that. That is for sure. I will repay the loan all the way. 2, 3, 4. I'm not expecting it to stay at over $2, but if I can get $2 out of the Ferris wheel, that'll be one of the best ratings I've ever gotten out of one. Research another general ride. So after this, I'm going to go back into coasters. Oh, must have gotten stalls too. None. Wow. But nobody's really complaining about food or anything at this point either, so not too upset about that. Rides. Yeah, they're all making money. Drinks and all that are making money. About queue time. Yeah, the go-karts are still doing okay. Favorite ride of guests. Timber Terror, which is one of the wooden coasters, is one. The Log Flume is actually the second highest, followed by the dive coaster. So, Rough Rider, how's that doing? It's in the middle of the pack with the junior coaster and some of the other supplementary rides in this park. So, Not doing too bad. Getting very thirsty by talking so much. Stream is still doing okay, to my knowledge here. I do really like how this dive coaster design came out, and 3 trains is definitely good for this. The only thing that sucks is the coaster can't go over the lift until it clears this holding break right here, but other than that, it's a high capacity ride from what I can tell here. Yeah, almost 2,000 riders per hour, so that would be very on par with real life, what one of those coasters would generate, and it is a shorter layout as well. That is something to remember. And top profiting rides, that would be Timber Terror, Lumberjack, Old Mill, Rough Rider, and Cliffhanger are up there. But Old Mill is really profiting, followed by the 2 wooden coasters are the top earners, which I expected for this park. They are also the top on ticket prices, even without the on-ride photo section. They make about what a ride with an on-ride photo section would make. So that's cool. Maze. I don't want a maze either. I may fast forward a little bit more here as well, just to see where I stand a little bit further in time. So hovering right around 1,100 guests. I will fast forward to year 3. Shoot. Losing people again. So I will do it for the park. I should have some more rides to research though as well. Oh god, it's really dropping now. I'm almost below the threshold. So I may need to start planning the next coaster. There aren't really any that I would like to build that, I'm thrilled to put into the park, but I'm probably going to need to put one in here. I mean, are there any steeplechase designs? I know I'm using another canned layout here. I might, but like, would that fit? It would. The path system would be very weird. I'm gonna go with it. Very, very, very linear building here. Both of these coasters are sort of facing the same direction in that, but it's getting to the point where I need to build another ride in this park, and of course it starts raining right when I start building something, and now I can't see. I'm gonna need the height markers. I'm gonna have to ensure to leave enough room for the queue line as well. That's funny. Oh, this is gonna be so fun. Build. And by fun, I mean not fun at all in the slightest. Yep. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start it here, see where it takes me. Oh, that's gonna be a problem no matter what. Cotton candy stall. Wow. Ooh, Didn't mean to do that. I could just bridge this over here. Oh, no, I can't because it... Man, this is... Did I disconnect that path now by... No, that's good. I just really want to get another one of these rides open so that... I may just say screw it and... Can I build under the turnpike there? I can. So that may become an option. So if I go up to... You know what it's going to tell me now? Oh boy. So if I start going back... Yeah, this will work now. I don't even have to go up that high for it. Does that connect? It does, because this will not need a long queue line, nor do I want it to have a long queue line. Just for the reason that people will wait forever for it, and it will be lower capacity. Alright. How many cars? 9 cars, okay. So this will get about $4. In fact, I'm just gonna open it right away. I'll put some benches in on this pathway. A couple bins. A couple more benches down here. Did I put a bench here? Yeah, I did. So, now I can advertise the ride. This should be enough to put me over the edge. Beginning of year 3, this ride will probably generate 50 to 100 guests worth of, you know, more people in the park on average. I really just don't want things to go downhill, though, is what I'm worried about, because I am riding extremely close to that 1,000 guest requirement. Cotton candy. You also have ice cream. I'll do cotton candy, or ice cream, I mean. Yeah, right there works, and people will pay $1.50 for ice cream. Okay. Man, I'm really hovering close now to that 1,000 guest threshold. I guess I fast forwarded too early and built a lot of things too early just because now the effects of them are wearing off. I do have a long advertising campaign for the park, and that new ride that I put in should help. But I want to make sure. Are there like no thrill rides in this scenario? And yeah, no more shops and stalls. We want thrill rides, because that will also help the attendance. And other than that, there's really not much that I want to build, actively here. And why is this not $5 per ride? Oh, it is raining as well, so. I'm going to do another advertising campaign. Free rides on... Let's see, what ride is doing very well that could go without? Old Mill's a popular ride, so maybe I do that. I'm going to lose a little bit on it, but people may still buy the on-ride photo for it, therefore getting some more income. $1,025 guests. Gonna need a couple more mechanics, probably a few more handymen as well. Burger bar. So the advertising seems to be helping with keeping the guest count steady, but it is also slowly increasing, so that's a good sign. Approaching, let's see here, middle of year 3. I will fast forward a bit more just to see where I stand. Swinging inverter ship. Okay, that is something that I did want. And it will not take up much room, so it'll be an easy place. Park guests are going up, which is good. This is another one of those very odd pathways, but there really was not much I could do to fit this in here at all. It is a popular ride, though, I mean. And the guests, what do they got? Very nothing. So the free rides on Old Mill are still going on until now. It hasn't really hurt the profits of the ride. And the swinging inverter ship is available. So, a good place to put this. There isn't too much going on this path. It could fit in right there. So all this requires is a walkway down, which fits in there perfect. Why isn't this connecting? It'll connect right there. I'll call it Grizzly. Grizzly Gulch, maybe, I don't know. Colors are fine. This can get increased to 15 swings, so it'll get over $4 per ticket. Should also help in the guest department because it is considered a thrill ride. My back really hurts sitting on this chair. So my computer desk isn't really a desk. It used to be a TV stand. So I tried raising everything up a bit. I propped my keyboard, my monitor, and my mouse on some stands. But I may have to go up even more so that I can sit up straight and work, not sit like this, like hunchbacked, slumped. All right. So I could do another campaign for this ride. It's new. And the advertising campaign for the park is still going on, nearing 1,200 guests, which makes me feel a little bit better. I'm gonna speed forward again. I'm gonna speed forward quite a bit here, actually. Just keeping my eye. Oh, the guest count was going down there, August of year 3. But I can start running one for the park again. The remainder of the scenario here. There is so much money in the bank right now, and I paid off the entire loan. This is a very high money-making park, but... And as for this, I'll maybe do Rough Rider for 6 weeks, because it also does have the on-ride photo section. And I should have gotten Topspin Motion Simulator. I took it off of Coaster Designs. I do have the burger bar, but I don't really desire to put in any more food stalls for this scenario. So the motion simulator actually could fit in nicely in this corner. Actually, that was probably a bad idea, because there would be no way to really route the entrance exit for it. Cut it a little bit close there by fast forwarding too much, but I feel like with what's in this park, there isn't much more space to use. There isn't much more that I desire to build necessarily. So entrance here, exit right there. It's a lower capacity ride, so I don't need that long of a queue line. I will do wait for the full load. Maximum wait time 60 seconds. I'll keep it named Motion Simulator. And there is a lot of litter on this path. So one guy will come over here and be this area. I'll allow him to go down there a little bit too. This is a $3 attraction. Could also build a top spin somewhere around. There isn't as much room for that attraction as there was others. There's some room right here, so the 3D cinema does do well performance-wise, but the motion simulator is a similar ride to that, so I may go with the top spin right here. All this last second building sort of makes up for me almost dropping the ball and losing the scenario by fast forwarding way too quickly. The name for it, I'm calling it Twister. Screw it. Long live the Twister. Long live the Twister. One of the best flat rides ever. Berserk mode. We're going right up to level 3. And a lot of these rides, I never even changed, the newer ones at least, I never even changed the entrance over to the style that I've been using for this park, so I'll get on that while I'm... Maybe for a couple of these I can go with the wooden one as well, just for a little bit of variety in the park. Not the restroom, that. Alright, did I miss any? I think the rest of them I got. The Ferris Wheel. Ferris Wheel, I'll do Log Cabin. The rest of them I should have. Yeah. So Twister is a 350 ride. Nice. August of year 3, I will advertise. Oh, wait. Oh, if you do an advertising campaign for a ride, you can't advertise a different ride. So it's kind of like a one-shot deal. You can do free rides for a ride. I'm not going to do that. But with the park being advertised in the vouchers for the free rides on Rough Rider, that is going to bring more people in as well. I'm going to fast forward a bit again. Yeah, I'm going to fast forward to the end of the scenario. All right. So this one is another 1-1. So I probably will stop streaming here for today. Tomorrow I'm going to work on probably another stream and some content for YouTube now that I have the webcam and the full setup kind of going here now. But I will do the recap. So the challenges with this park are definitely not space, but terrain. A very complicated path system. The expansion space that you do have, because the rides that are given you, they're very high revenue getting rides, but the 4 that are given to you already take up a good chunk of the space in the park, and they're very expansive. So they kind of cut off, like, This right here could have been a big area if this simply turned here and went around, but this big turnaround kind of eliminates this piece of land. Of course, I did use it by building around the coaster, but that is more difficult to do. Not everyone is able to complete designs that are like this. So the first thing I did was I built a pre-designed wooden wild mouse coaster that's been popular ever since, just to get some more people in the park. And it did make use of some of the flat lands that was in the corner over here. The carousel followed. The scrambler was also lumped in there with those additions, just to offer something different for the guests. Because you got to remember, coasters are intense rides. The go karts can be taken as a thrill ride or a gentle ride in a way. Same can be said with the Scrambler. The merry-go-round is obviously a gentle ride. And this coaster was cheap to buy at the beginning of the scenario, and it performed very well. And I'm changing the weather while I'm doing my recap here because, okay, I don't want it to look bad. Very, very cluttered park, very cramped in. But after that, I immediately went to building. The pirate ship came in as well. The junior coaster design was the first custom design that I built. Um, Worked around the coaster, made use going over the pathway here. That's what gives it its excitement rating. It's not a very long coaster at all, not very fast, but it gets its intensity and excitement just from working around other things. And there was a bit of space here to fit in a station as well. So after that, I did a custom log flume, not a very long one once again, but it worked around what was already there. And this is actually one of the most popular rides in the park, despite it being a very short log flume, even for game standards. Following that, I can't remember the exact order, but I put in the spiral slide, the launched free fall came along, and the next big custom coaster was Cliffhanger. Not a very long dive coaster, but certainly is able to bring in. And I did get $7. Oh, and I never changed this. I've had a bad habit of doing that. Well, $7 now. People have been getting free rides for too long. This has been hugely popular though, considering only $2 tickets as it stood. Um, Following that, I put in the steeplechase, actually I put in Rough Rider next. I used more canned designs. Steeplechase, Mini Minor, and the Corkscrew Shuttle Coaster were all pre-planned designs. Whereas coaster-wise, I only built the Junior Coaster and the Dive Coaster custom in this one. I think I didn't want to deal too much with the land and tree removal and landscaping, so that's why I went with more pre-planned designs in this game. I guess you can consider the Log Flume was built by me. There were a bunch of pre-existing coasters already in this map, though. And then just some filler rides to end out the scenario. Motion simulator, swinging inverter ship, top spin, Ferris wheel. I added a lot of stalls to begin the scenario. Granted, I only had a few varieties to begin with. I researched them for a little bit, but I didn't even end up adding in all of them. I'm getting really sick of this weather changing while I'm doing my recap. Not a hard map. I did run in some troubles in year 2 and year 3 of not having too much space to expand, not putting in rides, but this park makes so much money. The constant advertising campaigns, just plopping in a couple of these filler rides in the space that I had. I didn't beat the scenario big time, but considering about 1,200 guests, that's a 200 person cushion over the required 1,000 guests that you need for this scenario. So I really didn't have many problems with that. The loan is completely repaid. Research was done the entire time. Staff, I continuously added more to the park. Certainly, I could have a few more now, but I was well on top of adding those very quickly. And I can't believe that I forgot to switch the entrance requirement on that. I could have made more money, but it doesn't matter because I had money the whole scenario. I didn't have to touch the loan at all on top of what I originally had in the bank. And it does allow you to take up to 20,000, which is twice your initial starting funds. Do I like how it came out? I think a little bit better than my last Carts and Coasters, but it's not one of my favorite scenarios to play because the land, you have to be creative with it, but the pathway system gets very messy. It's a very, very cluttered park, and you are stapled down with the initial attractions that you have. It's not a good idea to remove them though, or modify them, or have them be down, because they make you the majority of your money that you're getting in this game. The 4 rides that you start out with combined probably make as much money or close to it as the rest of the park. So in terms of, I mean, the numbers are going to be a bit off. Cliffhanger is rising up the ranks, but that's because the entrance price was lower than it should have been for so long. But Timber Terror, Lumberjack, the two wooden coasters, as I said, were the top revenue getters. Turnpike King Karts are up there as well. And as for the coasters I added, Cliffhanger, this Log Flume has really, it's probably because of the on-ride photo section, but the Log Flume has really been doing well all game. Rough Rider, Mini Miner, Steeplechase, Juggle Explorer. So the next tier coasters are lumped in there. And the bottom attractions, even the Spiral Slide, which I did not have a queue line connected to, is making the same as the Ferris Wheel and the merry-go-round almost. That number went down. I don't know why. And all of the other thrill rides are lumped in here. All the stands are making money. 3 restrooms is what I put in. In terms of guest favorite, Old Mill is second again. Timber Terror, Lumberjack are up there. And then, the coasters are in there. The fewest rides are obviously the gentle rides here, and a couple of the newer thrill rides that I put in, but that's to be expected. So I didn't even save this game at all. Hearts and Coasters is complete. I've been streaming almost 2 hours now, so I probably will cut it short there. As for tomorrow, there probably will be a stream. Let me see what the next scenario is down the line. Mel's World is next. It is a bit more of a grueling scenario. 1,200 guests in 3 years, but there are also a couple of rides already in operation that are popular and moneymakers. Mothball Mountain is a tough one coming up. Not in the guest count, but in the land you're given. It's a Dinky Park sized scenario. So probably Mel's World tomorrow. If I don't stream, it's because I'm doing YouTube stuff, and then Friday I probably will do my first YouTube video. It won't be RCT2 related or OpenRCT2, but it will be coaster related. It will tie along more with what I do on the website rather than what I'm doing on the streams. The streams in the future will also be used for interactive stuff, Q&A, and other stuff that I want to do with it. It won't be solely OpenRCT2, but considering Twitch is a gaming platform and OpenRCT2 directly relates with theme parks and roller coasters and stuff like that. And it's just a fun game to play in general. I'll be doing a little bit of both on Twitch, but YouTube, all the streams will go there because my first streams from Twitch are already going to be deleting in a few days. So YouTube will host both the archived streams and any other content that I decide to put on there. But other than that, I think I am done with today. It was supposed to be a 3 hour scenario, but with the fast forwarding, I completed it in a little less than 2 hours, not including intro and outro times here. So thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing, visiting the website, amusementmemorabilia.com, and the YouTube channel. The link is both on the Twitch page and the website page. We are also on Facebook. I don't do too much on there, but yeah, thank you for watching if you have. This stream will go up on YouTube within the next day or so, and have a great rest of your day.